So here's a piece of bark that's 2 foot tall. The back is about 4 inches wide. We got about 3.5 inches depth there to carve. So on this video, I was talking to my good old buddy Just Carve Rob, asking him opinions of what I could say to help people on their carvings. This video is going to show you, we're going to be carving with a Dremel here, how to push everything back, carve deeper, make it look not so much like a flat carving and give your face dimension and stuff like that. So this is a wood spirit. There's going to be 3 wood spirits on here, maybe 4, probably 3. And I'm going to do my best to slow down and show you guys, give your face some depth. It's a wood spirit. We're not trying to carve a realistic face. We can carve whatever we want. A wood spirit is just a kind of face in the tree. So, or the wood, or whatever you want to call it. All right, now I've got to slow down already. A lady has been, I've been emailing back and forth with a lady. She wants to buy a carving for her husband. I said I don't really have too much around because, well, I've sold lots for Christmas and I don't have anything around worthy. But I said, you know, she seemed like such a nice lady. And I said I decided that I would do this carving on video for her husband, and her husband can watch this. But I'm not going to say what her husband's name is till the end of this video. Anyways, so, and I've seen one picture of her husband's carvings, and we won't give you any more hints till then, because you might be the husband. You just might be that husband. So I like to do this once in a while anyways. So, when you got a piece of wood, pretend this is just a normal piece of wood and it's covered in bark. Yeah, it's covered in the bark. Pretend this is, the gray stuff is the bark. So what I do, so I know that I got a nice piece of clean wood to carve, I clean up the outside of the bark to make sure there's no weird cracks or anything in there, and you got a nice clean carving. We got 3.5 inches to carve here, everybody. All right, and that goes for you too. So how thick is your piece? If you got half a log or something, you got that whole area to carve to give this piece movement. Carve deeper in the eyes, carve deeper around the mouth, lip, and give your face more 3D dimensions to not make it such a basic flat face. Oh boy. So also, actually, we'll talk about that later. All right, now you can see here, I got the wood cleaned up, the bark cleaned up. So I cleaned it up good so it would be like a half log or a round piece of wood for you guys to follow along with. All right. This is when I sit back, I kind of drink my coffee and let the wood speak to me. What do I see in here? You know, I could carve one big wood spirit, but I want to try and, if I carve one big wood spirit, it's easier for me to make this video to show you guys how to push the forehead back, the eyes in deeper, make that nose pop. So I think I probably will most likely carve most of this bark. Like this gray stuff, I'll have to clean it up later. And let's start off with one big wood spirit in the middle. That's what I see. So that's what I'm doing. Okay, so I got the camera in the overhead mount. I want to take a few seconds to show these carvings. This is one of my first wood spirits I did. Now look how flat that is. Okay, sure. Me, like you guys, being a very beginning wood carver, I was intimidated by the depth. But I kept this one because I was proud of it. Like how it's rotting there. So, you know, keep your first carvings because you're going to see over the years how you progress. And I'm not a naturally born artist. Anything that I've learned to carve, it's been a struggle. And the more that you do, the better you're going to get. Look at this one. I kept this one. This is the little Ewok. See, look, I even signed it J. Johnson, which I've never done, but I'm going to start signing them. This one is the little Ewok cell phone. See, there's a little antenna up there. Yeah, but look how flat this piece is, right? So I had so much more room to carve depth in here too, right? So that's what we're going to go over in this video is giving your pieces depth and practicing. Don't think that your wood spirits need to look like mine. Just possibly maybe learn from some tips in this video if that makes any sense to you. And trust me, like I said, I'm not a naturally born gifted artist. Anything that I've done, I've learned from Just lots of carving and lots of just repetitive repeat. So let's do a wood spirit. I still want to try and carve something up here and down here, but let's start off with, it also helps for the very beginners to have 2 different colors pens, because this can be your first template, then you could do the final with the black pen. So that's what we're going to do here. So our eyes, where do we want to put our eyes? You got to think of the room that you got in the piece. So let's go, actually let's push them down a little bit lower. This might be 1, 2, or 3. You just got to see wherever the piece takes you. So our center line is very important to have. Boom, right? So we got our eyebrows and our center line. Your nose, you got to think of the thickness of the piece. How thick do you want your nose? Don't draw your nose on like this, with the bridge of your nose too thin, because then, well, it's harder to make thicker later. So always leave the bridge of your nose thicker here and reduce it later on. And like I said, don't feel like you have to make your wood spirits look like mine, because they're not. They're going to look like yours. And it's freaking awesome, right? So I kind of just draw up. This is how I taught myself. This is the formula that I use from the nose. Some people go like that, and then they put them in later. But these things here help me to put the nostrils in later, right? So I think at this point, like, we could draw our mustache on. There's so many different ways you could do the mustache. I'm going to have to try and make this one the smoke up here, and then we'll have a wood spirit here and blend them all together, because that's what I've been doing lately. You guys are going to find things that you like to do and keep repeating it, because then once you repeat it, you finally got it. You'll never forget it. And this is just, everything's my opinion. So we got a big fat black pen here. So then we'll redraw our nose on. All right. So our forehead, just carve Robin. Well, I talked to Robin. He's giving me tips what I should say on this video, because sometimes it feels repetitive for me. But the forehead's 3 planes. And I myself learned this from Kevin over there at Sticks and Stones. He hasn't been around lately. I haven't spoke to him. But, okay, so 1, 2, 3. Right? So square it off. You can round it out later. Right? And also down here, like this line, where's that red pen? Because this is a wood spirit, it's going to have a beard and a mustache, so it's best not to draw this straight on. Do it a little bit wider, so you can if you want to make hair coming down here. And that's another tip I learned from Kevin at Sticks and Stones. So we're going to go, I talk about lots of my videos about getting the nose to pop off, the face the farthest. So all you do for that, this is all going to be, let's put this line here. I don't want to confuse everybody. All I'm going to do now is carve the forehead in deep, like this. You got all this room in this wood to carve. Who cares if this carving, when you're done it, is this thick? Who cares? You got to practice carving deeper, and you don't let the depth of the wood intimidate you. Carve in there. Make it deep. The deeper that you make your carving and everything moving in different lines and stuff like that, the better it's going to look. Instead of just having, like I showed, like the little Ewok here, like how flat it is, right? Turn these cheeks. Carve in there. Give them cheekbones. Take the forehead back. Make this nose really pop, right? Carve below the nose really deep. So what we're going to do first is we're going to just do this as simple as possible in steps, I guess. This is going to be a long video, maybe not too long, but I don't think I need to show you. I'm going to carve on this line. Boom, boom, straight in. Then I'm going to tilt it back, okay? We'll probably have to carve our eyebrows down later. Your nose does not need to stick farthest off the face, okay? But to get your nose to stick farthest off the face, this all needs to be carved back right in here. Like all this wood on this side of my finger, all this wood in here needs to be taken, and you need to slope it like that. That's how you get the nose to stick farthest off the face from the first step. But anyways, I'm going to be using my Kutzall. I'm running a Dremel a Dremel 4000. with the Dremel flex shaft, I'm hooked up to a foot pedal. It's just for on and off. I always run my Dremel full speed. Sometimes I just do harder to the touch. Sometimes I do lighter to the touch. But my Dremel always runs full speed. So I do not need the foot control speed pedal. The speed control foot pedals don't work for the Dremels anyways now. And this is the Kutzall. This is my favorite burr here. This one's white. I carved epoxy with it. But this is the Kutzall Extreme Flame Burr. You guys want to get these Kutzalls, just go to the description below. It'll take you to the Kutzall site, save yourself 5%. But this burr hogs out wood fast. So I'm going to cut on these lines, boom, boom, slope the wood back to make it like this. I don't think I need to film doing that. Okay, so yes, this is cottonwood bark is a lot softer than the wood you guys can carve. I suggest getting some cedar, some birchwood, even basswood. Just practice on the softest wood that you could possibly get in your area. So you can see there, now that's how it's sloped back. That took me probably 2 minutes to do. Now, so I carved off my lines, not a big deal. Draw them back on. Now you can adjust. So where do I want to put my eyes? I think for the wood spirits, a smaller forehead's better than a bigger forehead because the bigger forehead is kind of looks like a mongoloid. And you see how I rounded it? Everything's kind of just try and keep it round. If you look at a human's face, it's basically round. So now that nose is a little bit short this way because we're doing going to try and do real eyes, and I'm going to the best. I'm not very good at carving eyes, but I'm going to show you guys what I know. So your center line again. So it's easy, right? That's why I said it's good to have 2 pens. Redraw your nose on. Just if you wanted to carve that off and redraw everything on, go for it. So now, so I think like for my own experience, when I'm going to carve eyes in there, I have to make my nose a little bit longer because you have to have room in here to carve your eyes. So if the shorter nose would, so if you're planning on to carve real eyes, try and draw your nose on a bit longer. My noses are always a little bit short, and I have to constantly remind myself to carve them on, draw them on longer. That makes sense to you. So there now. So if you look at this, now, how I got it on, drawn on now, and you go like this, the tip of the nose would be right here. From carving a little bit of that back, that's how you can get the nose to pop off the farthest from the piece. That makes sense to you, because that's the tip of the nose there. But we're going to carve later. We'll carve in here, then we'll carve the eyebrows down to make the nose really pop off. You don't have to. This is how to get your piece more three-dimensional, right? So all I'm going to do now is, well, do I have the room to make this like a mustache look like it's smoke going up here? Or do I have room here? I think I have more room on this side. That's why it's good to make your piece center. Go like this up here for smoke. Up like that. Then this one can come down like this. And go like that and over another wood spirit. Sorry, I'm getting complicated. So, sometimes it's hard for me to explain how my brain works because I'm a freaking mental freak. So, for these eyebrows now, all I'm going to do is cut across this. Here's your forehead. You want to leave this the way it is. It's always better to start off with a smaller forehead, shorter forehead, than a longer forehead. I could always make this longer by carving more of this wood away here, making it a little back there a little bit more. So I'm going to cut across these eyes, the eyebrows. Then I'm going to cut here along the nose and try and cut on your lines on the outside of them. And I'm going to carve a bit deeper underneath this nose. Then I'm going to remove all the wood. I'll film for that. Okay? So I won't put my dust mask on. 3, 2, 1, ignite the fan. Okay, so now Now you can remove the wood below the eyebrows. Drop the eyebrows a bit, make the eyebrows a bit lower. Get your pen. I wouldn't have to if I wasn't filming, but your center line is always good to have. You draw your center line on, redraw your nose on. Okay? So this guy's gonna have a big nose. Okay, so you got that cut in there, so remove the wood around the nose. When I'm carving, I'm always listening to this burr on the wood. Sometimes it sounds like it's rattling. That's how you know there's a crack in there. So I'm thinking this nose might pop off, but it feels pretty solid. So now, there's our nose cut in. Go like this. Your nose sticks farthest off the piece now because you took that wood back there already. We still got to give this piece so much more depth. So now, let's draw the mustache on. Let's see if we can do our smoke thing. So go like this, up here. Then this one, go up here like this. And then this one would come down like this. I don't think you really need to follow what I'm doing with that. So our eyebrows, so all I do is do a cut across here. I remove some of this wood on the forehead, and then I do a split in here. I remove that wood to split the eyebrows, okay? So like I said, don't feel like you have to carve as fast as I do. Okay, so there's our eyebrows cut in. Now I'm going to remove the forehead. Push it back. Split the eyebrows. See, I'm not, there you go. So you got elevated eyebrows now, all right? So I'm not worried about how small this forehead is because I can always cut some of this wood off and make the forehead bigger if I want, but that's fine with me. Okay, I gotta make a phone call here and I'll be right back. Okay, so now's another time where you sit back, look at your piece, and do you like it? Do both sides of the face kind of equal out? This nose is pretty wide down here, so it's easy to make it thinner by just removing the wood. But see how round that face is? You can do this with a 2x4 if you have a 2x4. Just round the edges, make it rounder, make it more fluent. So now, let's look at that nose. It doesn't really stick farthest off the face, does it? But here's an easy fix. All we do, carve these eyebrows down lower, redraw them on, and recarve them in. That's all you do. That's what we're going to do. Then that nose is really going to pop off that face. Sure is. Not to do with this carving, but I want to show you guys I did the epoxy pour over top of that epoxy carving that I did. I did a clear pour, so look how it looks like glass. You do see bubbles in there, but not really when you're looking at it that far away. But that's pretty neat. So another lesson learned over your epoxy carvings, do an epoxy pour. See the faces? 1, 2, 3, 4. I think it's neat. Maybe you don't. Well, I have to say sorry because I thought I was filming and I wasn't filming for all of this stuff. So what I did is I just drew the mustache on. Okay, so I drew it on, so I liked it because I'm going to have a wood spirit down here. But I carved deep on the side of the nose, not too deep on the side of the nose here. It's a shame that I wasn't filming because I carved a little bit deep here. Then I carved deeper from this point right up beside the nose than under the nose. And then that's how you really get the nose to pop off, by carving deeper down here. So lightly carving along here, removing the wood in here, both sides. From here to here, I carve really deep in there, right? And then I carve the mustache out. Then I carve below the nose again. I remove the wood. Then I kind of put the stuff in there. Boy, oh boy, I'm sorry about that. But look how far that nose sticks off the face now. All right. Now, the bottom lip. Let's try, I'm going to try and really show how I give this bottom lip some movement so it's not just so flat. So that pen line would be the bottom lip. Now, maybe I should probably switch burrs. This first cut, let's cut in the bottom lip here. On the outside of the lip. So there's my cut. Now I'm going to remove some wood on the bottom of the lip. See the lip in there? So there you can see the bottom lip in there. Now, Ryan Cook taught me this. This is how you really give your piece a movement if you're going to do wood burning, even if you're not going to wood burn it. So let's switch burrs here. Am I filming? Man, that pisses me off that I wasn't filming. But you just carve deeper, carve it all deeper in here. I also said, I look at the mustache, I try to make sure they're both the same thickness on both sides. So what I do by that is, like, you see where it turns here? It turns here. I just draw a line down here and a line down there from each side of the nose. And a real person's face, the mouth is wider than the nose, so you can do it over here if you want, make the bottom lip bigger. So I got that Kutzall taper burr on here now, the silver one. What I'm going to do now to make this lip not look so flat is I'm going to carve deep in each corner. Okay, this is same as eyes. This goes same. This is how you give your piece movement. I'm going to carve deep in each corner, right? Then I'm going to remove some wood in here, remove some wood in here. Then that's how you can make the bottom lip round. 3, 2, 1, ignite the fan. Okay, see those deep cuts? Okay, so we got to cut on the bottom side of the lip. We got to cut on the bottom side of the lip again. And then make it a bit smaller. Even that lip's pretty big. I'm going to make it smaller. Now round it off. There. Now you have a round lip inside there. I don't know if you can see. See a round lip in there? It's not so flat, it's rounded. Now your mustache. See this mustache here? Now look at the shadow you get in there from doing that deep cut, right? Your mustache. It sticks pretty far off the face. You can take that down too. Carve that closer to the lip. You know, this burr is good because you can use the point to carve or you can use it sideways. Let's take that mustache down a bit lower. Boom. Now how's that for some movement? Like look at all the I'm trying my best to carve as deep and make everything pop out as much as I can on this piece so you can see all the different movements in it. But you can see that bottom lip's round now. Everything's just nice and round and not so flat. Look at the size of that nose. You know, you can always make the nose smaller now if you want to. So what are we going to work on next? Stand by. Okay, well, we might as well work on the nose now. So what I do, I look to see, because I'm always rushing carving, I look to see that this angle and that angle are the same. Like both the nostrils are the same. My noses are never perfect. But so I can see this one's pushed back a little bit higher than this one. So that's easy fix. You just push this one back higher so both sides connect, or like the same across. Now the nostrils, I'll just kind of go like this, boom, up here, and then that comes a cut down here. So you kind of want your nostrils to be the same. Mine never are. I really don't really care enough to try and slow down, but my carvings would probably be a lot better if I did make them the same. So there. So since we got that burr on, I'm not going to carve too deep in here, but I'm going to carve and then down here and get some depth along here to separate the mustache from the cheekbones. So boom, down a little bit. Boom, down a little bit. Okay, other side. Okay, now remove the wood. There's the cuts in there. Now remove the wood on the bridge of the nose. I need to switch burrs. Okay? So this nostril is a little bit lower than this nostril. This nostril is lower than this. This nostril is a little bit lower than this nostril. That's fine. Now, another thing too I noticed what I was doing with my carvings, which helped me, the eyebrows, your bridge of the nose, make your eyebrows to match the bridge of your nose. That's kind of hard to explain, but make them a little bit wider. Not too wide. Okay, I'm going to hook up the Kutzall silver flame burr and shape this nose a little bit better. Now, should we give this fellow a bump here? I think he's got the big schnauzer, so let's give him the big bump. So I'm going to cut across this line and round it so he'll get that big bump there. But I got to switch burrs first. Okay, so let's do the cut across here. And round it out. You can carve the bridge of the nose lower. Carve beside the bridge of the nose to make it deeper again. Round this side like the other side of the face. And around the nose off. Just take some time to. Oh, look at that. There you go. Just try and make what I focus on. What I focus on is I try and make this, see this point? I try and make this point exact same height as that point. I try and make down here, each side where the nostril hits the face, I try and make those the same, right? So now, I always got a problem with my cheekbones. I always push them in too tight, but it's okay. It's kind of like how I do my wood spirits. That's how I do it. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to do a cut here. Is my battery dying? See that line? I'm going to do a cut right here. I got to charge my battery or something. All right. So I kind of did some things while I was waiting for my phone to charge. Got a sleeping wood spirit down there. Then we got kind of like an old school carving fusion wood spirit up here. All right. All right. I like that one there. That looks cool. Kind of looks like Zeus, sleeping Zeus. Now, what I was saying is these lines here, what I'm going to do is a straight cut down here on both sides. And then we'll start, I kind of do weird kind of cheekbone things, but they're a little bit different. And then I just kind of carve. I can't really explain it, but I just kind of carve till I'm satisfied. This guy's got a huge honker. Huge honker. We'll carve the nostrils in soon. Anyways, I could carve this nose so it's not so big. Just kind of carve, put a line here, carve this wood away. Then boom, just move everything around. So you can see my point of this video is that's why I carved these ones quickly, is because the depth. Get in there and don't be intimidated by that wood. Like, just, man, I don't know how much I can say it, but carve deeper, get in there and give your piece movement, right? Like, boom. That makes sense to you. So, yeah, okay, the cheekbones. Let's, what bird do I got on my thing? Oh, I got to switch up birds. Stand by. Okay, so just because I got the hair, this wood spirit's beard hairs coming down here, doesn't mean I can't carve deeper in there. Because I'm gonna carve deep and give this guy's like temples, right? Like make your temples thin. I think. So let's do that. Let's carve deeper on each side of the temples because it will give your piece movement and depth. And then I'll carve down here. What's going on with my chair here today? All right, let's do it. Oops, got to turn my Dremel up. See how deep I just carved in there? Oh, let's get some better lighting here. Actually, that lighting's right there's good. Well, let's go like this. Okay, so let's just do this. Now, I shouldn't have really carved all the way down here because you got your beard has to roll off the face. So, like, if I just carved deep right to here, I could have left this and the beard rolls off, but that's all right. Let's just friggin' do it. I'm not going to talk, I'm just going to carve. Kind of sucking in those cheekbones. Okay, so the beard rolling off the face. The beard rolling off the face. The beard rolling off the face. Okay, so when I do my cheekbones, I just kind of slowly remove the wood. I look at the piece, carve it deeper. Same with the other side. My flex job's starting to make weird noises. Okay, so there you can kind of see cheekbones. See how I sucked them in? You could do it like this. Just carve Rob does his round, then he has the beard coming off. But I just kind of suck them in and let the beard roll off the face. Okay, so the nostrils. All I do for nostrils is I put my burr up and under. Don't get too thin to this side because you could have a blowout, right? So. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Look at that. Look at that. Perfect. The nose broke off. So now what we could do is we could. Perfect time for this nose to break off. It didn't even bother me. You know, you could glue this nose back on so it doesn't even look like, but I don't want to give this any finish, so you could glue this back on, or you could carve it deeper. Look how much room. We still have all this room here to carve deeper. So now this is a good time to fix your nose if you thought it was too big. So here, center line. This just changes everything. But the more that you do, the better you're going to be able to be at correcting it. So I'm going to carve all this wood away. Now, this might make it carving all this wood away, making the nose only right. The hair might make it so your mustache is too big. So you might have to recarve your bottom lip in. Let's just kind of run live with it. Okay, so that's how fast you fix the broken nose. Now this kind of looks neat the way it is. It's got a big, I don't know, I kind of like this. It reminds me of it's that old game World of Warcraft. But what we'll do here is we'll just kind of recarve this, all this out, and recarve the bottom lip in. You have to do adjustments, like now we have to recarve up here. Anyways. So I have to redo everything with the nose. All this is doing is carving deeper. Hey, mustachers. Whoa! Guys, see that? This just blew off. Okay, let's stop and take a look at that. All right, so you guys saw that nose blow off wherever it went, and then other pieces flying off. That happens with the bark. Where's that nose? I think here it is. So now look how big the nose used to be. Down here, actually. Look how big it is now. I'm much more happier with that. I'm kind of like, now I've kind of set myself up into a position for the eyes. I don't have much room to carve. That's what I'm talking about. If you make your nose, for the very beginners, if you make your noses longer, you have more room to carve eyes in there. So now you can see, just because the shading, these sides are both the same. These sides are both the same, but you can see they're just kind of removing some of that wood, gives you a cheekbone. Now I'm on the fence about carving the real eyes in this because, well, there's just carve Rob's side view. Now the nose doesn't really stick that farthest off the face. It does, but it kind of doesn't. So that's an easy fix. All you would have to do is carve these eyebrows farther back, carve deeper. It doesn't need to be farthest off the face, the nose. So the eyes. Look how much cooler that looks now since that nose broke off. It was the spirit God's calling to me. All right, so eyes are my least favorite thing to carve on video because you got to have this piece. You can't carve it like this. You can't. Well, you can once you get going, but to draw them on, your piece needs to be perfectly square. So I don't know. When I do eyes, I kind of just go for it, and I don't know what else to say. So there's kind of two square things on there. Try and make sure they're the same size. See what I mean? You don't have much room. There's the side of your nose because the nose is shorter now, but it's okay. You gotta make do. Now, you got those things. So pretend these are little footballs in here. They're not shaped like footballs, but I'm going to go on the outside of these lines and try to remember yourself to go. Actually, maybe I should go on the inside. I'm going to go on that. I'm going to go right on this line and carve around here, probably about that deep. Our goal is for this part right here is, so you got your face, right? These will be your eye sockets. So pretend if this is not attached to the face, this little thing there that I drew in. And our goal is to pretend this is your skull, whole thing, and your eye sockets right here, is to try and make it look like there's a round eye inside your skull, your socket. Pretend there's a round piece inside there. Yes. So I'm just going to kind of carve around on the lines. So once I get carved on the lines, then I remove some of the wood on the skull piece itself. So that this is like raised out. Inside here is skull, eyeball, is raised out of the whatever. Okay, so they're cut in there. This one's a little bit bigger. I'm going to remove the wood around it. Okay, so there you go. Now you can see they're sticking off. Now, actually, 1 second, please. Stand by. Now you want to round these things so they look like a football stuck in the eye socket. You better if I had a little ball here. something like this. Here's a burr. So you want it to be like that, but more of a football sticking out of your socket, your skull. Anyways, fuck. That's just silly. Take your time. This is when you take your time. And that's my problem. I never take my time. Okay. So, see how deep I carved in there? I don't care. I have to keep on carving deep till I can make them look the same. They look somewhat the same. Now, I have a favorite burr that I've used to carve the eyes, but I don't know where I put it. It's magically disappeared. Maybe the eye gods have taken it. But this is like a, you can get those little metalworking burrs. You can get, this is a different type of burr I got on Amazon. It's pretty sharp. I think this actually comes in the little metalworking burr sets or something. But so now, because you need to have a upper eyelid and a bottom eyelid. Now, I'm not going to draw them on because, well, for myself, oh, there's that burr. It burns the wood at the same time. It's a burnout diamond bit. But I use this with my microcarver. But I'm not going to use my microcarver on this video because this is a Dremel video. Very beginner, how to carve a wood spirits in depth. So this is the part that I hate. And you have to remember, no eyes on any humans are the same. Some are higher, some are lower. So all I do, Art Branson said the eyelids, it's better to have the top eyelid more round and the bottom more flat. So here would be the top eyelid and the bottom almost straight across. I don't know, that after I heard that tip, it's really helped me. But let's see how well we can do this, because I got to keep everything centered. Uh-oh. I got to figure out better lighting because I can't see diddly squat when I'm doing this for this video. Okay, so now we got our lines cut in there. See that? That's about that deep. Now I'm going to make it look like there's footballs inside of these. So, see that? It's kind of round. I had to carve that one bigger because this side was bigger than this side. I had to make this side bigger. That's why you see that extra bigger cut in there. But now, the browner that you can make these inside, the better it's going to look. So I'm going to dig really deep in the corners of the eyeball. So now we're working on the eyeball itself. See how deep I dug in there? Watch this. See how deep that is? Now spin it around to the other side. And now, make it round. And yes, you're going to have a hard time fitting the burr in there the deeper that you carve it. It's just about finding that magic spot. I don't know how well you guys can see on camera, but you see how it's starting to look round in there? Because you dig into those corners, right? Now you just got to flatten that little point out and then you're good to go. Okay, I'm going to get this other one done, and I don't know if it's going to be on camera or not, but Dig into those corners, man. Okay. See how round they are in there? Still got to fix this one up some more. Round it off. Now, the hardest I say for wood spirits is to make them looking straight at you or anything. For me, this is my opinion. I think it's easier to make them go like one side or another side or up or down. But so let's see here. Let's do this one. We'll make it so he's looking this way. Punch a hole in there. Cut deeper in that corner. Okay, so you can see there's little pupils in there. You can do a little line to act as, say like I got blue eyes. You do a little line there to act as that line too. Make it round. Okay, so see what I just did there? Now, you got to separate your eyelid from your skull, from your skin and the bottom eyelid, so I just do a cut like this. And I think these are called crow's feet, little things like that. And remember, your bottom eyelid, your top eyelid goes over your bottom eyelid. Give them the little eye ducts or something they're called. Okay, so now you can give them, let's slow down, Jordy. So there you can see. Now you can give them age lines under here. You can give them eyebrows with this piece. Give them those age lines up here. You can separate the lip from the mustache. Dig deep in those corners. Okay, so here's one thing that really drives me nuts with this one I did. Look right here. Okay, so you see how this lip rides up the mustache there? And this is how a simple fix to make your beginner wood spirit faces look so much better. See how it looks like it's riding up that lip? Let's see, maybe this side's better. Just get a little burr like this. And separate it from the lip. See how that separated it? Okay. I don't think there's anything else we can do. There's another cut that we could do on this face. I guess it would be your secondary smile line or something. Like, see those divots beside the nose here? Let's see. Let's find a fine burr. This is the Kutzall gold burr. I can get it in the friggin' thing. It's going to be a long video. I don't care. So, cut those temples a bit smaller. Sorry. What was I doing? Oh yeah, the secondary. So you got those dents beside the nose here. Like, see those right there? There's good shadows. You can always go like this. I kind of give it another cut right there. Okay, so Scotch Brite on Emery Scotch Brite on sanding mandrel. Turn your Dremels down for this. This works really good for cottonwood. It sands it. So turn your Dremel down, get this on here, and start sanding your piece. All right, so I signed it. Jordy Johnson dated it 2000. Oh, it's 24. I guess I should change that. Got the J in there for Jordy and a hole at the top to hang it. Here's just carved Rob's side view. So I hope some of you have been able to learn movement and depth in this piece. Like, see how deep I've carved it. You know, you could take those eyebrows down to make that nose stick farthest off the face. You could thin out these temples if you wanted to. There's so much stuff you could do. See how I kind of blend the beard hairs and the hairs together? I like the sleeping man down here. I like them all. Here's the old school carving fusion one up here, the open mouth, no eyes wood spirit. Just goes to show you your wood spirits don't need to have real eyes. You can do whatever you want to do. So, the lady that got a hold of me, her name was Sandra. And she seemed like a super nice lady, so I was happy to do this for her. Jim Smith, out there in Whidbey Island in Coopville. That's somewhere out there in America, USA. I'm not too sure exactly, but that's what she told me, Whidbey Island in Coopville. Or Coopville and Whidbey Island. Jim Smith, she sent me some pictures of your carvings, and I'm going to show them right now. Love the trees that you're doing and the gnomes. I really love the little owl that you did, and it looks like it's on a burl. So that's a pretty good idea. You know, I see there's a picture there you're using that battery DeWalt saw. I did have one, but I gave it away. You need to get your wife to fork out some dough and buy you the nice still battery saws where you can get the carving bar on it. Then you can start getting into some pretty good details. But you've done some pretty good work with your that DeWalt saw. And you can keep that DeWalt saw for blocking out, and get the still saw with a nice little carving bar. The battery still saw with a nice little carving bar on it to do some better detail. I'm not saying your details are not good, but then it's easier to do details with that. So there you go, Jim. I hope you like it, and keep up the great carvings. Here is Carving Fusion Original. I'm not going to put any finish on this. I don't think it needs it. If you want, you could put a clear finish on it. Any type you want. Give it a 2 or 3 coats. But I think it will change the look of this, make it darker. It's your call. It's your piece. Anyways, that's it, everybody. Keep at it, Jim Smith. Thanks, Sandra. And hope you've learned something in this. See, for example, look how deep I carved that eye in there. So it looks round. See there? Makes it so your eyes aren't so flat. Depth, everybody. That's what wood carving is depth. Carve deeper. Even if you carve too deep, who cares? Keep carving deeper. Carving Fusion, over and out.